How's it going, everybody? With Gamescom going on right now, new footage of the two missing Wooling heroes has appeared. Fighting Cowboy was nice enough to let me use his footage for frame checking, so a huge thanks to him for that. I also used some clips from IGN for missing moves. I will link them in the video description so you can check those videos out as well. But to make it perfectly clear, I did not have access to these heroes nor the new PvE game mode. Everything I say is pure speculation on my part, and things that I identify as a certain attack might be something totally different. Also keep in mind that these two characters are still a work in progress and are subject to further changes. With that in mind, let's start with Jiang Jun. You can see his numbers are pretty ordinary, nothing really stands out. 1000 millisecond neutral heavy with a 900 millisecond heavy finisher, which is also unblockable. It's the same for both top and side attacks. His special stance, Sifu's Poise, seems to follow the usual feint rules. It happens 400 milliseconds before the attack would hit. The length of the stance seems to be variable. The longest we see in the videos is 1850 milliseconds. His zone attack is a little special. Speed-wise it clocks in at 600 milliseconds, but because you have two different inputs for it, you also basically have two different zones, or more or less. You either have the usual heavy plus light, and then you also have the heavy plus light input while you hold backwards. And if I'm seeing this correctly, like I said, this will change the direction the zone is coming from. Which input is which, I have no idea, but it can come from both the left as well as the right side. Speed and arc wise, it seems to be similar to Warlords, it just has two different sides it can come from. You can also combo out of your zone. You can zone out of a parry, which makes it unblockable, and then immediately combo into your combo finisher heavies, which are also unblockable. His Sifu's Poise seems to have a minimum duration of 900 milliseconds. You can do it repeatedly to waddle backwards. Whether this move has guard break vulnerability, how many dodge frames it has, and all that, I have no idea. I need to see more or test it myself to make an educated guess. All we know is that you can combo out of it. This here now is IGN footage. We can see some lights. Neutral side lights are 500 milliseconds and comboed are 600 milliseconds, which frankly is just fucking terrible. Yes, he's a heavy, yes, those lights might do slightly more damage, but what it boils down to is that 600 millisecond combo lights are awful. They should not be in the game. I'm not expecting 400 millisecond lights, but why not keep them at 500? It's mind-boggling if you ask me. It's the same shit as Gladiator's combo lights. Can't wait to test the block recovery on those. Wouldn't be surprised if we have another Highlander incident on our hands here. I know I'm crying before even having played him, but the sheer number makes me fucking sad. For fuck's sake, don't release him with those numbers. But moving on to Nuxia. Fighting Cowboy was flapping his guard here, but the longest duration I could measure was the 650, which should mean that she has the normal assassin guard duration and not a shortened one like Gladiator. Neutral lights are 500 milliseconds and comboed ones are 400. You can see a grab attempt here, but those keep on missing. The only thing we can tell here is that they also happen at the normal feint timing. We'll look at one in detail in just a bit. Her dodge attacks seem to be similar to Valkyrie's. They can be started 300 milliseconds into the dodge and then have a 500 millisecond attack on side dodges. Forward dodges are slower and clock in at 600, which seem to be the exact same as a running attack. Just like Shaman's forward dash top heavy is the same as a running attack. Nuxia seem to behave similarly. Her combo heavies grab and throw and also wall splat. All heavies, no matter the side, seem to be 800 milliseconds, both neutral as well as comboed. As you notice, there's a lot of revenge in this arcade game mode. This makes it basically impossible for me to measure attacks, as I absolutely need the stamina bar to be able to tell the startup of the attack. The same goes for a full guard widget. Without it I can't tell dodge startups. So there might be some downtime between counting the speed of an attack simply because I can't during the specific part of a clip. Stuff like the 600 millisecond riposte after a parry. We've seen it previously, but I need one out of revenge. Here we're seeing her zone. At first I thought it was a normal heavy attack simply because of the speed. A full second for zone is extremely slow. So you'll probably see this one in combination with her grab. Here we see her infinite chain for a while. But now to a block grab, or whatever the official name is. So here's my theory on it. Like mentioned at the very beginning of this segment, the grab starts 400 milliseconds before the attack's impact, meaning at the feint timing. At this moment, your opponent sees the yellow ring, meaning it will be a successful grab. This part is 400 milliseconds. It's the same duration as a guard break attempt. Whether you can now actually react to the grab by dodging or maybe lighting her out of it, I don't know. Maybe it's even guaranteed at that point, who knows. We're going to need further testing. But my guess is that this new type of move has counterplay to it. And if it does, that window might have to be changed after people get used to it. It's quite generous. I mean, everyone can counter guard break by now. I will test this in detail once I get my hands on it myself. But feel free to speculate and share those theories in the comments, please. That's it for now. I'm sure I'll have more on those two in the future. I hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.